All right, welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Joy Tang, the founder of Markable.ai. Joy, great seeing you, and welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me. And this is going to be a fun conversation about what you're doing with Markable and how the whole journey started. So, for the audience that doesn't know about what Markable is and what it does, can you introduce Markable.ai to our audience?
Yeah, Markable.ai is the only Gen AI company in the market right now that help creators, social media content creators like you actually, and many other, people on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to streamline the entire workflow of their tedious tasks. Because a lot of things that can be automated with AI, and right now most creators are doing things, from finding content to talk about, finding product selection to posting and making sure that their comments are being responded and having an automated updated website, like all that is super tedious. So our goal is to serve the content creators to help them save 2 hours a day. And so far we have achieved not only we save them 2 hours a day, their sales, especially creators who are doing affiliate sales, improve their income by 5 times as well. Oh, I froze.
Now you're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Well,
Mhm.
that's amazing. So tell us like how did the whole journey begin?
Yeah, so I mean, I myself, I'm a big nerd. I graduated from
You don't look like a
MIT,
big
and
nerd, Joy. All
yeah, I'm one of the more fashionable nerds, so that's why
right.
I'm quitting this company. So I have a yeah, I'm a little more well balanced between my left brain and right brain. So I actually got a gold medal in math Olympics from China when
Wow.
I was 6, when everybody else are boys and they're 17. So I was the youngest female player that ever got a gold medal in math Olympics in China. And then I, get into MIT for undergrad and studied math and economics. So this is actually my third startup. My first startup, I had a little sweet taste in college. I started a copycat of Facebook, but for Chinese speaking students, because I
Mm.
noticed there's a pain point of Chinese students trying to find out who are the other Chinese students in, Ivy League schools, and then potentially form new friendship like that way. So that was the first startup, and we went viral globally, become the number one global Chinese student community online. And then I sold it to a Chinese social media platform back then. So that was my first sweet taste. And both my parents are entrepreneurs as well. So I felt like it's part of me always wanted to try entrepreneurship. Actually, after my first startup, I did 7 years of high frequency trading in finance. So using AI to automatically buy and sell in the financial market. But even when I was doing that, it was paying me really well. But I always save one screen on my desk just to look at social media, to look at Instagram and TikTok. I was like, oh wow, like she looks so beautiful. What product she's using, what he's using, and I will make a comment and say, hey, where did you get this product from? And no one will respond to me. So I felt like here I'm squeezing nanoseconds arbitrage in the financial market, but here, I spent hours looking at your content and you spent hours creating these great content. And by the time I wanted to, buy something from you, it's not available. It just doesn't happen. So to me, like this social commerce scene is very inefficient. And I felt like it's about time to have a full set of automation and AI to streamline the process and make it like it should be a lot more efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the creator economy is it's massive, and I believe that this is just the beginning of what this economy is looking like with platforms like yours and many others. Um, Is it mostly focused on e-commerce in this case with the Markable?
So most of our creators are interested in making either affiliate income or brand sponsorship income.
Hmm.
So actually half of our revenue is coming from SaaS revenue from creators using our software to just bump up their sales, affiliate sales. And the other half of our revenue actually coming from brands coming to us and say, I really wanted to work with these creators. And also we actually show the brands the metrics of the creators, how much they sold. So our creators sell like on average 5 times more than average creators out there because we bump up their sales by 5 times. So the brand also benefit from that. Like they will see 5 times better ROI for the brand's campaign as well.
Yeah. Talking about leadership, your leadership is hard as a leader at your startup company. What are the core principles of leadership that have guided your success so far?
Yeah, I think every leader will think that they're not good enough leader. So I still feel that way. I felt like every day I make leadership mistakes. But I would say the number one thing, the most important thing is I actually build a trust with my team. And I make them feel like I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for them. I think that's the most important thing. Like I see every of my teammate almost like my own kids, right? I want them to succeed, but then if they're not doing well, I have a talk with them. I'd be like, you know what, I really want you to succeed, but I really wish you can improve on these things because, even if you don't work here, if you work somewhere else, the same thing will happen,
Yeah.
and I want to help you grow. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, yeah, I guess like being a good leader is kind of like seeing yourself almost like a good parent, but a good parent has good cop and bad cop. So I kind of have to wear the good cop hat sometime and also the bad cop hat. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish my parents were tougher in me, right?
Yes. You have to be tough in a nice way, right? Like
Yeah.
that's, yeah. Mhm.
So how do you foster a culture of creativity and innovation in your team?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think my team is the most innovative team. Uh, First of all, I myself is one of the most innovative person I know, and I really appreciate creativities. So when I see a teammate that show me signs that they have creativity, I really praise them. Like I think that's something a really good quality to have because there's there's different types of teammates. Not saying that if you don't have creativity, you're not a good one, but I do think those are moments where really should be appreciated. um like one of my teammates told me that she worked with me because I never shut down her ideas. Even if I shut it down, I tell her why. Like she says she has worked with other leaders where they will basically straight tell her that it's not a good idea because they know more in the space than she does.
Hmm.
um I think that's a common answer when you talk to someone who is new in the industry, be like, oh, that's not going to be good because I know more than you. But I think I don't tend to give that answer, even if that's true. I will say that that's a great idea, but this is why we cannot do it. Like maybe you can think of something else. Like I will, keep them continue thinking. Because that's what a good parent do, right? You never want to shut down your kids' creativity. Mhm.
Yeah. I was reading actually one of the articles. That's how we got connected, and there was
Mhm.
the topic of that article was about the disruption of the $100 billion creator economy, and they were talking about some of the features that you are disrupting this particular
Oh
area.
yeah. You know
Tell
what,
me.
that article, since that article launched, we actually added 3 more Gen AI feature that we haven't even get time to promote it yet.
Oh
So
wow. Well, tell us,
yes,
tell us about one of those. We'd love to know
yeah.
about the those that innovation that's coming from from your side, and seeing how that is impacting the your Markable.ai, but also the industry in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in the past, I have made the mistake to create really sexy AI technology because I have an AI background
Hmm.
that, I personally think will transform the industry, but then it ends up like really hard to sell because I realize that my client is actually a big internet company where they have tons of budget that when they see something good, they tend to replicate themselves. So that was a mistake I made. So not all innovation ends up good places, right? So then I take a different approach. Like I really listen to people's pain point. They tell me what they need. So
Hmm.
I happen to have two of my neighbors, and they actually are the top selling content creators in the US market. So one of them is a number one LTK creator, and the other one is a number one Amazon creator. So they actually come to me, they say, "Hey Joy, like I've been doing creator for only a couple years, but I'm already making like, seven figure a year. This is like beyond my imagination. I don't even have time to hire a assistant. But now I realize my day is filled with tedious tasks from like finding the product to posting and to respond people's tasks and then to updating the website and then to create a collage. So she ended up paying like 30 grand to 60 grand a year to hire one assistant. And then that's not enough. Then she ended up hiring 2 to 3 assistants now. So it's actually become a really big cost for her when these things can easily be automated with AI.
Hmm.
So the three other AI feature we just launched that was not in the article you read is AI collage, because I realized a lot of creators spend tons of time to create beautiful collages, because when you have one collage of multiple products, you sell a lot more than just sharing one product in one post. It's very simple, but they have to download the images, from the retailer website, and then have to use another software to remove the background, and then like put the products at the right place and add a title, and then use the background color. So it's very tedious.
Hmm.
So now we create an AI feature where you just, pick a few products and then hit generate AI collage, one button, and then within 5 seconds, you get three different options. And if you're not happy, you press again.
Wow.
So this saved them, basically 30 to 60 grand a year. Otherwise, they have to pay an assistant. So that's our one feature. The other AI feature is AI caption, because a lot of creators are, maybe including yourself, like you're really good at doing photos and videos, but when it comes to write a short summary of what your content is about, or helping your followers to find out the products you just talk about and be able to buy them, it's not, everybody is not made equal. So we tested this with multiple creators. When they use our AI generated caption, their sales will went up 2 times.
Hmm.
So that means like caption is actually very important. So now, yeah, we're using a model, like a big AI model similar to ChatGPT, but customized for social creators.
Nice.
So that we very popular. And number three feature is actually we call that the AI website, because before we existed, a lot of creators are using Linktree. You might heard of Linktree, that you put
Yeah.
all of your social media on one, a few buttons on there. I mean, it's pretty informative, but it's always the same. So whenever someone go to your website, they see the same buttons. It's
Yeah.
not very interesting. It doesn't show what's your latest content or what is the latest products you talked about. So we're basically using AI to automatically update people's website besides those buttons on top. At the middle, they can see exactly what the top trending products, items, the creator recently talked about in their social media is automatic updating. And at the bottom, they see their latest social media content, which people can click on the content and continue engage with the content and shop. So those are the three AI items we just
That's
added.
amazing. So how do you keep up with these emerging trends? AI is just in this exponential growth. I finding myself is very difficult to keeping up with everything. So what's your angle? How do you keep up with all of this? What's happening?
Yeah, well, we have a couple AI scientists. One of our full-time teammate actually used to be an AI instructor at one of the famous university.
Mhm.
So he keep me updated. But I am, subscribed to a lot of AI groups on LinkedIn to read like latest AI articles. And but to be honest, like I don't spend that much time keeping track of what's latest. I spend more time listening to my customers' pain point.
Mm.
And because I'm an AI person, so when they say the pain point, I already know if can be solvable by AI or not. And then once I make this my project, and then I go with my team to see what are the latest AI solution out there that can solve this problem.
Yeah. How do you balance a risk taking and experimentation? Obviously, you got to do a lot of experimentation on your side
Oh yeah.
and maintaining a stable and innovative business model. Obviously, we're in the business of growth and making money. We live in this economic planet. So how do we balance this?
Yeah, I think it's a business is basically almost like it's a representation of yourself. So I think the most important thing is make sure the founders yourself, the well-being is good mentally and physically. That's very important. So when you're healthy, you're mentally healthy, and when you all of your communication with your investors and your teammates are healthy, the business will be healthy. So like, you know, I I'm very transparent because I believe in people and I believe in giving them more information will help them understand the situation and help me come up with solutions together. So I have made the mistakes in the past when I started a startup, like I try to take all the burdens on my own shoulder, and that's when things start to collapse. But when you learn to share the burden with everybody else, you explain the risk so they understand why this is important and to make sure that risk doesn't happen. And even if it happen, from my point of view, I communicate with you, I communicate with my investors, so people understand, and then we make adjustment and we come up with new solutions together. So I think doing entrepreneurship, you're basically constantly problem solving. And to me, I think the most important thing is integrity of myself and integrity of the company. And when that is in line with our business model, everything just flow. I
Yeah.
think that's yeah.
No, this is very well said. I always say alignment is more important than assignment. And today we find a lot of people who are just doing a lot of assignment, but then when it comes to alignment, it's not there. So that was really well done. Now, Joy, you know, this environment that we're living right now, it's like, obviously it requires you to go outdoor, knock a lot of doors to being for financing. How do you find yourself as a female entrepreneur, especially on raising funds, which is always very difficult for everyone? But when we see like a woman being financed versus men, is like the ratio is so high. It's sometimes like we just wonder like how come that is still happening. Um, Tell us a little bit about your experience and how you find yourself in this area.
Yeah, I think some investors are worried. I think everybody is in some way logical, but also biased at the same time. I
Mm.
can see some of the investors tend to worry about, oh, if I invest in a female founder. I get this question asked many times. Like, when I was single, people ask me, what happens if I invest in you, you get married and have kids? Right? And then once I get married, people ask me, what happens if you get kids? And then once I have kids, then they ask me, what if you have another kid? And once I have two kids, and people will be like, are you gonna have another kid? Like, so people somehow associate women with having kids, meaning that they don't have time to
Mm.
build a business. And that's a very common understandable statement, but I think but being logical, people have to understand every situation is different, right? So I'm blessed with having a full-time nanny living at my house, taking care
Yeah.
of my kids. And my kids go to school full-time, and my nanny cook and clean for me. So technically, are you sure I'm a wife or my husband, right? So there's a lot of, I mean, I'm not exactly the breadwinner. My husband is actually way more successful than I am.
Mhm.
He's a neurosurgeon, but but we have a very equal relationship where I actually find like he spent more time taking care of the house and the kids, and he does all the taxes and billing than me. So I think like sometimes like investors just understand like everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
And we cannot put the stereotype on people's, but I understand, I myself had similar experience where when I hire a female teammate, I also worry what happened. Because, as a business owner, you do think about that. But then once I get to know them, I know who they are and what motivates them. You know what kind of person in long term they will be. And and I will tell you right now, our entire board is 100% women. And um, we have one woman engineer doing really, really well. And my product lead is also a woman, and my entire marketing team are all women. And they work so well. And they actually understand the social marketing better than men, because
Yeah.
there's way more creators who are women. And most of our creators are actually 90% of our creators are women with multiple kids. So in some way, I almost understand the pain point more than men. So I think there's everything we have to look at it like case by case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, yeah, so this is a great conversation. So I wish we can have more time, but this is a short format. So what does bold mean to you, the word bold?
Yeah, I think the word bold to me means like as long I have people's best interests, I can be as bold as I want. Because when you know that you're doing something good, why not be fearless, right? I think the people when the time that people have fears because they're worried, maybe they feel guilty or maybe they feel like they're doing something wrong. That's when you have fear. But when you know you're doing something good, do not have fear. Just like be fearless and just be transparent. Put yourself out there. And worst case, right? Like worst case, you start again. But that's the spirit of entrepreneurship. You solve a problem and you solve another problem and you continue solving, and that's why we become entrepreneurs, because it's fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fall in love with problems, right?
Yes, it's fun to solve a problem. I feel the high when I solve a problem. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. That
that keeps me moving. Yeah.
that feeling is just incredible when you come with that with solving that problem. You know that you came on the side and you help someone in that situation. I think that's really amazing. Last final bold thoughts for this conversation, Joy.
Yes, sure. Both thoughts. Any both thoughts from me? Right now my both thoughts is to be the number one creator technology in the market right now. And when I get there, the company will make 800 million annual recurring revenue and 90% is margin, because this is like a really big market. And 30% of the high school students actually say their dream job when they graduate is to become a content creator like you. So I think this is where the world is heading towards, and a lot of technology founders are not looking this way, because most content creators are women, and they have a lot of pain points not being met. So I'm happy to be the person that where the innovation head and solve most of their problems and be the best in the market.
Well, that's great, and always be bold, Joy. Congrats on all your achievements, and thank you for joining me in this Bold Talk series. We'd love to have you back again to another conversation as we go back to the look in a few years' time or whatever that time is going to be. But I truly like this what you do with the Markable and empowering the creators. You have a great personality and you have a great motivation. You have great purpose, and so truly thank you. So take care, be great, and be bold always.
Thank you, Epi, and I really good luck with your channel. I love all the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.